Are you a real estate professional who feels like you're struggling with imposter syndrome? If so, keep watching this video because I'm going to break down 5 ways to not only deal with imposter syndrome, but also let it go. I'm Amanda Fezzolani, co-founder of Designed for Agents, where we help real estate professionals close more deals by mastering your marketing, branding, advertising, and production strategies. Now, let's dive straight into exactly how to deal with imposter syndrome because it affects so many people across so many different industries, but it's so easy to fall into it, in particular in the real estate industry. And I think one of the many reasons that is because you're surrounded by people who you feel are more experienced than you, right? You take your licensing, you hang your license at a brokerage, and you're thrusted into this fast-paced world where you need to build your pipeline, you need to market yourself, you need to show the consumer that you know what you're doing. And the truth is that you might feel like you don't know what you're doing. And this feeling can last for years. And if you let it last that long, it'll stop you from really growing your business and prospering. So let's really break down the 5 different tools that you can use in order to let this go. So number 1 is just really understanding that you know more than the consumer does, right? There's this big fear when it comes to, imposter syndrome sort of festering inside of your heart and your mind. And it's that I don't know enough in order to help people. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. While you may feel that people around you are more experienced than you, that's actually something you can use to your advantage, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. But number 1 is to make sure that you understand that you took your licensing, you studied, you passed the exam or more than one exam depending on your state, and that means that you automatically know more than the average buyer or seller who does not have a real estate license, right? So you're already good right at the start of the gate, right? And some of the hardest parts about being in the real estate industry are really the business management aspects, the marketing, the advertising, the learning how to use the different tools that are out there. It's not so much the people aspect or necessarily the actual transaction aspect, because when you are a real estate agent or broker, you hang your license somewhere, which means you at the very least have a broker who is more experienced than you. You might have a team leader, you might have someone who's just awesome in the office and who's experienced and they're willing to share their knowledge with you, right? And so that means that you have access to more information than the average consumer. So you know more than you think you do, which should help kind of alleviate the stress of, oh, I'm an imposter, I'm not really a real estate professional. Number 2 is that you want to stand on the shoulders of giants. I believe that phrase comes from Tony Robbins. I'm not 100% sure, but I've definitely heard Alex say it multiple times, and it's this idea that you want to stand on the shoulders of the people who know more than you, they have more experience than you, they are in leadership, they can be a mentor to you. Lean into that, right? When I first got my real estate license, I leaned into Alex. I leaned into online forums and things that had information that I could rely on, right? And so whenever a buyer or seller asked me a question that I didn't know the answer to, especially if it wasn't in person, it was like on the phone or through text or via email, I would just go and ask Alex. I would either be honest and say, let me consult with my broker for that, or you know what, I believe it's this answer, but let me double check. Right? You're not expected to know every single little nitty-gritty detail of how to handle every type of transaction, right? Real estate is just so vast. There's so much to know. There's law, there's mortgage, there's credit, there's the intricacies of the transactions in it of themselves, right? There's weird questions people ask you sometimes that you would never think to even learn about. And you need to lean on the people who are around you in order to help you answer those questions. And the beauty of that is the more questions you answer, the more knowledge you're going to incur. And so naturally that plays into part 1, where it's you know more than the average consumer, thus helping with that imposter syndrome. Well, What would make people take me more seriously? What would make me feel like people would take me more seriously? What would make me take me more seriously, right? Who is it that I need to become? Do I need to be a person who's more organized, who works more efficiently, who studies a bit more, a person who has more transactions under the belt? Whatever the case may be, you need to write down exactly who it is you need to become, and then you need to work towards becoming that person, right? Don't let analysis paralysis take hold of you, and that imposter syndrome take hold of you and sort of just paralyze you from taking action because you feel like you don't know anything, or you don't have enough experience, or you don't have enough clients to work with, right? What you want to do is really embody and live in the type of person that you want to be, the type of professional that you want to be, that is going to make you feel like you're no longer an imposter. Number 4 is understanding your why. When you truly break down why it is that you're in this industry, why it is that you need to succeed in this industry, that your business needs to grow, right? Get to the root of it, right? Not that you want to make a lot of money, not that you want to be successful. You have to get super detailed and deep with why you want to succeed. And when you get clear on that, that's going to blow any feelings of inadequacy or just feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not knowledgeable enough. That's going to blow it out of the water, because what that's going to create is a situation where you feel passionate about what it is that you're doing, and you just become a go-getter. You're just going to go after it, and nothing's going to stop you. And number 5 is a piece of advice that it took me a while to learn. And I got this from Alex, but I also got this just from watching people in the industry, networking, talking to people of different personality types and experience levels, from people who've been in the industry for 25 years to people who are just, brand spanking new 1 to 2 years in the industry. And it is that there is always something to learn new in the real estate industry. You could be in this business for 25 years and you will still find moments where you are surprised by something you don't know, because there are just so many different categories of real estate. There's so many different types of transactions. There's so many different types of laws, and you just never know what you don't know, right? So keep in mind that when you're dealing with that imposter syndrome inside, don't really relate it to like your lack of knowledge or anything like that, because you're always going to be learning something new, which is one of the most fun parts about this industry, is that there's always something new to learn, right? So you're never going to be bored. So in a nutshell, those are the 5 ways that you can deal with and let go of imposter syndrome. Now, a personal word of advice as someone who has struggled with imposter syndrome in more than one industry, right? If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that before I got into real estate, I was a professional photographer. And we all have to start from somewhere, right? All of our careers start with day 1. And on day 1, we don't feel as confident as we do on day 100 or day 6,000, right? And a personal word of advice that I would give to you is to just give yourself grace. Understand that you don't know everything, and you are on a journey, and what success looks like for you today is going to look different 3 years from now, right? So you really just need to fall in love with the journey, right? To learn everything that you can, lean into your mentors, and really just become a sponge of the industry that you are in. And that is going to help you just let it all go and be in the now. Be in the now and give all to your business. Really grow and feel like you're growing versus feeling like you're stagnant and like you don't deserve success, right? Because the truth is that you do deserve success. Now, as we always say here at Design for Agents, I'm wishing you tons of happy new clients, a whole lot of closings, and many, many, many accepted offers. We'll see you in the next video.